What's up guys, welcome back to the Drift Games YouTube channel. On the last episode we were at Quinn M-Sport and there was actually too much stuff for us to cover in one video, and we wanted to have a look at Kevin's S15, which is absolutely insane. It's one of my favorite drift cars in Europe, and I want to do a full kind of start to finish, work through the whole car and give you guys sort of an example of what a top-end Drift Masters car looks like under the skin. But before we do, I actually want to do something that you guys always ask us to do, which is go into the loft and look through all the old parts, look through all the stuff they've got there, and then we'll come back down to the car. So let's go upstairs.
I will reference here, Dave. So before we got the new branding, we were wearing the same thing, and still.
You see, this is what happens when we
Oh god.
get given the same batch of clothes. We both gravitated towards this one, and then
We're on the same, what's it called? Routine?
we're about a week off having a uniform in Drift Games now at this stage because we keep wearing the same hoodies, but we'll get past it. So this is, what I love about this is, rooting through stuff is like a very Irish thing of like, oh, what's in the corner there, what's this and what's that off. This is kind of a random selection of stuff you guys have. So let's sort of start over here. So we've got kind of ECUs, I suppose, standard ECUs that have kind of come out of cars, or...
That's actually basically, that's a car in boxes.
Really? All this is car?
Yeah, it's all new parts for that S14.
Ah, so this is
the other video.
So this is everything for it?
Everything for it. ECUs, dashes, just everything. Everything for it. Basically everything.
Hardship.
That's my engine that let go last year in Riga.
This is the old block.
That was my very first 2J block, so I held
Your
on
very
to it.
first 2J?
Yeah, I held
That's
on to
how long? 3 years?
it. 4 maybe?
4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
You should make this into a coffee table.
No, because I think it can be used again, so.
Oh, it's not that bad?
No, but
But
this
then-
is actually the other engine.
So
This is the spare
That's last year's engine, yeah. That was the one that we put in after Riga to go till Germany.
So this is now the spare engine.
That's the spare
essentially
engine.
the spare engine. And you guys have a ton of seats and wheels and bits and pieces. You got a whole rear end of an S15 here.
It's sort of the
So hold on, this is all S15.
Yeah, well that's that's actually the fabrication stuff for this Escort.
Ah,
That's all metal.
Yeah, it's all Group 4 fabrication stuff. It'll happen someday, but when, I don't know.
and this is just a rear end of a 15 spare.
Yeah, it went up on
For
Facebook
some-
for sale one day, and I don't know. I don't even know why I have it. I have it.
Yeah, even these stuff like dashes and stuff, like they're getting rare now.
2 of them, 3 of them maybe?
3 dashes.
Yeah.
S15
sort
just
of-
stock.
How much do they go for now, the dashes of 15?
Probably a good one's about 400 quid, 400 or 500 quid.
Because people are using them in S13s to make it look
yeah,
a
it's
bit
It's actually a
better.
fiberglass copy now, so there is. I think
Yeah, you can
Caber Performance used to do
You
it.
can get a copy. I actually have an original S15 dash in for no reason in the 1A because I presume it was cheap at the time, but now it's actually getting pretty fancy.
They're a nice dash, like, because you can usually set the gauges into them, you know, take
Yes, that is a really nice.
the vents out and stuff.
So this is the Mark II Escort. We had a quick look at this in the last video, which is a long-term project.
Yeah.
And I have to check this out because I have never seen this many doors from drift cars ever before. So these are Dwayne's doors, your door, Ross Barr's door, Robin Easton's door, Dwayne's door, with the Drift Games logo from the first year in Drift Masters. And this one has seen quite a few.
I was gonna say, he couldn't make out his drift games
I think we
anymore.
were halfway through the season and I went, Dwayne, if you win this championship, my logo will be gone from the car, because there was that many battles that he was actually rubbing the logo off the door. But it is pretty
How many
cool.
doors are over there?
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
How many
5,
doors
6,
have you?
7,
I
8.
think they're all Kev's now. There's like 6 of yours there.
Have a look here. That's the wall of shame, as we call it.
The wall of shit. Oh wow.
That's a lot of cookie lights broke there now.
I'll say the second one next to the arch.
Wow.
I'm guessing that was from
That
the
was
big crash.
The big smash, yeah.
I've just done the math. You have 13 doors from 180SXs here in many different, and if you don't count the ones that are already on cars, that is a lot of. Look at this view, by the way, of the 32 GTR 15. And the reason we're having this video is because we're going to go down and check out your car for this year, which I am really excited about. So let's get under the skin of Kevin Quinn's Link ECU S15. We want to take a minute just to thank one of our partners here at Drift Games, M-Tech Brakes. They're one of the UK's leading supplier of performance brake pads, discs and hoses. We have run them on all of our cars. They're an amazing product and at an amazing price. So make sure you check out their full range at mtechbrakes.com. Kevin's S15, and obviously Joe is the one that's put it together. Kevin was kind of the brains behind it. And I want to kind of go through it from start to finish, because we don't often see this with drift cars, like we get a good story. So this S15, where did it start life as?
It was a Spec S auto, Aero. Absolutely mint, driven here.
So it drove in here as an absolutely perfect S15.
And we actually done one wheel donuts?
Onion rings?
I don't know what you call it. In the yard, reversing here. Actually, I went away for the day.
Yeah.
Came back the next morning. I think we went drifting somewhere. Came back the next morning. That was a bar shell.
Wow.
And usually, when
So you're like a termite of drifting. You
but it
just
has to get me
break it all down.
You need to get Kev away.
It has to get me away. Like I went away and he had the car stripped and it was really mint. Like I didn't want anything cut out. I came back and like, in case I didn't want to build the car, Joe had everything cut out of it, drilled out of it. It was cut in half. There was no back end. There was no front wheel tubs. He just had it destroyed.
So let's go on a tour of the outside before we get to the inside. So this is a full 75mm Origin Lambo kit, which is kind of what you guys do. And it's on Strom wheels, which are these new DS25s, which are really, really nice wheels. And so they're like sort of, you and Dwayne were the first two to have those wheels.
Yeah.
Which actually really suit the car a lot. And then, of course, as nice as that is, Joe, you decided, no, I'm going to put more hardship on the car and start making custom parts for it on the outside as well. Like these kind of things, like these canards and stuff.
Yeah, you need to sort of make it look different from the rest. Even the front bumper that nobody really notices, but the standard Oregon kit just comes in because it fits all our 55mm bumpers and all, but I made this suit the wing. It's a 75mm bumper, more or less. You know what?
I know what you mean.
You don't get a bumper to suit the 75mm wing.
It's a little bit inside
You
of
can
it.
actually see the difference here. There's two of the bumpers there.
There's the see the step in.
Yes.
That's the wee bit you get along with the Oregon bumper. So
That's more of a smooth look.
yeah.
I would never have noticed that.
No, and then you put the canards on either side, pretty aggressive canards on either side as well. And I mean, does it make, I mean, the car looks spectacular, but then you have to give it to him. And like he's going around a track and the last thing he's thinking about is, well, that's a nice job right here on the corner where you usually hit other cars. It's a nice job that Joe has done on the front bumper there. I'm just going to mind that. So obviously these cars are drift cars, so you're putting sort of show car prep into drift cars, which shows the level of detail you guys go to. But it must be heartbreaking sometimes when they come back in a plastic bag and the bumper is just minced. But this one has done 2 rounds now, 3 rounds?
Three.
So it's in pretty good shape. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I always find it mental that you're running actual S15 headlights on this as well, because most people have jumped to the blanks, but it looks so much better with the real deal in there. And then these are like Ganondorf style mirrors. These are real Ganondorf mirrors.
No fakes here.
Wow.
Are they like a big thing? Am
Yeah.
I just a novice at this again?
Like basically, if there's the fanciest of wing mirrors you could buy, they are the fanciest and expensive, very expensive too.
Making like £1,000.
£1,000!
Hold yourself together, Josh.
Come on, man. Relax.
£1,000 mirrors. The headlights must be making fairly.
They're not far off of it also.
And the taillights are, I like these, the clear and reds. They're like the nicest look for the S15. One of them's had a run in, but the other one's not too bad.
So I remember from the S13, how many taillights did you get? They were the kooky ones, they're expensive.
Yeah.
How many did you go for in a season?
It's not worth talking.
I lost count.
So I'll tell you what. Strangely, usually we start with the power. Let's start with the back of the car first. So can we pop off this this rear spoiler? I'm gonna let you do this because I at this stage now I can't afford to touch anything on this car with the amount of good parts that are on it.
£1,000 for the mirrors.
£1,000 for mirrors, yeah. There's nobody that isn't watching this video that doesn't know if rents Japanese cars what Ganondorf mirrors are, Josh. I'll just tell you that. You've just been schooled there. Watch this now. Watch him spot Ganondorf mirrors for the rest of his life in every video.
I've got them in stock.
Yes, so the back end of the car, Joe, this is your kind of speciality when it comes to kind of the crash bar stuff. This one it's kind of I wouldn't say a generic setup, but it's the setup that works best for kind of drift cars, which is again the half-cut rear window, so you have easy access to everything that's in here at an event.
This car was more or less all the things that you wish you had done
The first time.
in other wee cars,
Yeah.
throughout the learning curve of building them.
Yeah.
So this was all the wee handy bits you.
So what you've got here is obviously the bolt on, bolt off.
Yeah.
Which is something that a lot of people don't do, which is actually a very handy thing to have.
I have an actual template for them, so There can always be ones like made, you can have them bent and ready to go and painted in a couple of hours.
Which is perfect. And then this whole rear section comes
Yeah, the
off,
whole
so-
from like there back is fiberglass.
Oh, so this is all
It's
clamshell.
all fiberglass.
Ah. So it's all clamshell rear, and it is actually, you can actually feel it's very
Yeah.
light, the whole thing. Radiator put in the back, obviously for kind of distributing the weight, and it's kind of feeding its air in sort of through here. And you have the radium fuel cell, which is quite handy to fuel, obviously, because you can see it. And so a lot of them are down at the bottom of the car, like my one, and they're actually very hard to get to sometimes.
Yeah.
You take the whole boot lid off.
It's just up and out of the road and safe.
Yes.
It is the nicest, safest way of.
Well, I was just about to say, because you obviously have all of this can go to damage without actually coming near the fuel cell, and it's up high too, which is a good thing. So if a car goes into the back of you, it's generally going in low, and you have plenty of protection for that, which is really, really cool. This is actually a very tidy setup. You can have a drift car that's very functional, but if it doesn't look nice, I always kind of think that's what drift cars should be. They should be very nice looking cars, and this one, especially even at the back, it's like a work of art.
I can't help but the attention to detail, even in the way that the bars connect down there. It's like split in half as like a neat connection for the back bar.
Lap joint for
Yeah.
jointing like historic roll cages and S-skirts and stuff. So
That's very tasty. So let's move around to the side of the car. We're inside the car, and it's again.
So previously, 10 minutes ago, Kev said this was messy.
He said this was messy inside. I don't know what.
He was almost embarrassed.
I'm not sure if he's seen anyone else's drift car in the history of time, but this is one of the cleanest
This is-
interiors.
Anything but messy. I can't even see a speck of dirt in there, really.
So we've got a dog box in there,
G-force.
a G4, and I love this. All the relays that are just back here, which is actually very tidy, just right back here, so you can get to them very
Yeah,
quickly.
just anything to do with the rear, fuel pumps, fans, everything to do with the back is at the back, rather than running the whole wires to the front to have up there.
That's very, very clever. And then you've got a full S15, well, obviously an S15, but S15 dash, all flocked. And then you also have some relays up here on the dashboard.
Yes, fans for the front for the oil fans and wipers and silly things.
And you have the whole thing running off a link ECU then, everything connected in there. So this is the brain of the operation, is right up on the dashboard.
Link ECU dash.
And you obviously have your connection here for the laptop, so you can check out how it's doing, how it's performing, which is the awesome part about the link, which is my favorite part, is that even though I don't understand what half of it's doing, the people around me do, and at least they can say, hey, you need this or you need that, or something's going
You
right
see
or
some
wrong.
fancy digits go up.
I think that's the biggest change with electronics in a car, is the likes of a link, because years ago, you just have a load of guys under the bonnet pulling and dragging and pressing stuff and seeing it.
for the best.
Hope for the best. Now you can go, no, it's actually the fuel pumps.
Yeah,
failing,
if you need to plug it in, it's so easy to find a fault.
Yeah, I like the custom embroidery on the seats too. That's a nice little touch on the sides.
What's that?
The Quinn M-Sport on the seats is very cool. And a Sicky handbrake, which I haven't, I think, seen in Ireland. That's a kind of a US part that I haven't seen in a very, very long time.
Possibly the nicest
I was just
feeling
about to say,
handbrake.
they just look like, you know when you see like those ads for knives, and they got really fancy knives, like it's like one of those. It's like they've
It's
gone.
actually on the Sicky supplying quick change as well.
Oh really? So the back of it has.
If you look at underneath, you can see the Sicky back plate.
Ah yes,
What's that?
it's the quick change.
Just
So a Sicky back change or quick change, Sicky back change, and so that's pretty. So inside really, really nice. I like this kind of stuff. The real tidy. Because a lot of people just take this off and leave it, but this is like real attention to detail now, Joe. Putting like little buttons, little fire switches. And then this is the business end. So this is a 2JZ, but not a very normal 2JZ.
No, definitely not.
Talk us through the spec on this, because again, it looks pretty, but I'm not sure what all of it is.
It's one of Davey Angle's 2Js, because with, obviously it didn't happen this year with Drift Masters, but we felt that reliability and power is not easy found.
No.
So Dave built us the 2J, but it has got Titan mains, Corella rods, CP pistons, what is it, Branco cams, is it, or HKS cams?
HKS cams.
HKS 272, shapeless buckets. They can rev safely to like 8,000 revs. It's the new Zona Rotor Turbo, hyper tune inlet. It's on the bigger 1500cc injectors to work with
1500
the
cc's, wow.
Ignite fuel, the ethanol fuel.
And what sort of power did it make on the dyno?
It's just sitting kind of safe and sensible at 700 horsepower.
Like sensible 700.
1.4 bar, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite low boost for 700 horsepower.
1.4, 1.5 bar, 700.
And it goes. Like, we've watched it at the Irish Drift Series
Yeah.
recently, and it absolutely rips. So you won the first round of the Irish Drift Series in this car, which is strange because that championship has moved to street tires for this year. So all of that power is actually very difficult to work with when you're running on a road pattern tire. But the car actually still won the event. So it goes to show that it has a lot of mechanical grip. It still can work quite well as it is. And he did 2 good rounds in the British Drift Championship this year as well. So like, this car is sort of, let's just say, Driftmaster spec. But it's kind of doing some national stuff for the minute, and then next year the plan is obviously to head back to Europe, bring this car with you, and go back over and give it another swing of the dice. And this is definitely up to scratch with everything that's out there at the moment in Drift Masters. And I think probably getting to the point where it's as far as you can go. I mean, you can keep going forever on it, but you want, as you said, reliable power. You can go to your 1000s and 1100s, but all those cars I kind of see with that 1000, 1100 mark don't seem to make a lot of the runs that are actually going on the track.
700 horsepower every event, not 1,000 horsepower for 2 events, and then blew up.
Exactly. So amazing. I mean, this car is, I mean, I suppose if you watch the video this long, you're going to want to hear the car start. You're going to want to see Kevin do some donuts in the car outside. Or is it ready for that, or is it too? Is that going to take much persuading?
Doesn't take much to persuade me. Like.
And apparently we're going to do something very special at the end of this video, because not only is Kevin going to start the car up and show it how it runs, but apparently he's going to let Josh do some donuts in a UK spec cam. And that
Can I do some? Why do you sound disappointed with that?
He suggested it, and now because I've said it on video, he has no way of backing out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he is the most UK spec person we know.
That's true.
Because he's from the UK, and if he was in a UK cam, I feel like that would be like, you know, it's always Northern Ireland people and Irish people in UK spec cams, but if we get a UK person in there, let's see what happens. And then, if you want anything more for a video, I have literally nothing else to give you. 700 horsepower 2J and Josh doing donuts in a UK spec cam. That's what it's all about here.
Do you have a
cone? We might even get your cone. All right, Kev's warming the car up. He's going to do some donuts and some burnouts, which we all love. So, thumbs up to the main man, and here we go.
It's like our own private demo.
Are you getting in there in the middle?
He destroyed the place. He took up the concrete.
We literally could do that all day in that car and not lift the water to temperature.
That was ridiculous. You can't see a thing either. Have you seen this? I was walking past and a bit of rubber flicked on me there and stuck right on my...
It's not funny, Josh. What's happening next might be funny. Look at this.
That is ridiculous. And now the workshop's just filled with smoke.
Alright, so before we leave Quinn M-Sport, we're going to do something that's never been done before in the history of time. And that's Josh, UK spec Holsworth, diffing a UK spec cam. This was a good idea at the time. Let's see what happens. Do you know what? He has battled James Dean, so to be fair, he's probably, he reckons now he's a professional drifter.
Hold lock. First.
Yes.
There's the clutch in.
What's that?
Rev limiter, and then let the clutch out.
That sounds animal rough.
That's what you do.
Jesus, Kevin, he nearly killed you with your own car.
This diffing's hard to do with one hand. I wasn't gonna.
No, don't try that. We'll do that in the next lesson.
That's level 2.
Just go around in one circle.
No, smooth outro to the video. Smooth outro.
Oh, Dave, you're not the worst at this. Smash subscribe, hit like, subscriptions. Diffin and over and out. Kevin, you do a better one.
Come on, the dog. We'll have to leave it there. Thanks for watching this episode, guys. Thanks to Kev and all the boys down here at Quinn M-Sport. We had an awesome time. We did some different, we did some burnouts. We'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you subscribe and check out the brand new range of merch on our Drift Games shop. We'll see you on the next one.
This is how you get the lads. So, our boat looking for the diffin. Any scutting going about?
10-4?
10-4 diff. If the crossrow's empty, I'm gonna give her plenty.
Lovely. That's just beautiful.
No one's after it.
No, you've got no friends.
Over and out.